Yes, everyone awaiting Andy Murray starting his 2015 campaign here at Wimbledon. Later on centre court, he'll be closing the action there later today. Myself, Cara Robinson and Adam Hunt with you now while Annabelle and Matt's take a well-deserved break. And we're delighted to be joined by Edmund, who's come up to speak to us in the studio after your match out on court number 3 with Alexander Dolgopolov in a tight first set, 7-6. Then 6-1, 6-2, and I know you've just come off an abdominal injury. I saw you last week at Hurlingham. How are you feeling coming into this one today?
I was feeling fine. Yeah, it was just in terms of I called on the trainer with my shoulder, but it was just something I felt, and maybe it's just with the adrenaline going on for the match. So I must have just trying to go for my serve a bit too much and maybe tweak something. But I wasn't the reason why I lost today. You know, Alexander was better than me today, and it's a good experience for me, and it's a good match to learn from and take away and trying to improve.
Dolgopolov is a really tricky player to play, particularly on grass. We saw he beat Rafael Nadal at Queen's, and you almost don't know what's going to come next from him, do you?
No, exactly. He hits with lots of different spins that is unusual, and you don't see a lot from players these days. He likes to hit a lot of slice under the ball on both sides, forehand and backhand. So it was tricky. Something that I'm not used to, I haven't played a lot with. But it's good that I was able to experience that, and you know, hopefully next time I'm prepared better.
Annabelle and Matt were just talking with Pavlyuchenkova in the studio just before us about the mental side of the game and your attitude in between points. And when you come off such a tight first setter like you did there, just losing it in a tie break 7-6, how hard is it to try and regain some momentum, knowing that you're a set down and it's going to be at least 4 if you want to come through this one?
Yeah, it is obviously tough. You know, there's a little bit of disappointment. You didn't get that set, but. I think as tennis players, maybe you just accept it, and you've got to accept it. I think you don't have a choice because, you know, within 2 minutes you're playing the second set, and if you lose concentration, which maybe I did today, and they pounce on the top guys, and then you know, once you get broken, it's very tough to break back, especially on grass. So it is tough. I mean, I won my first 5-setter in Paris, and I learned and realised that there's a lot of emotions up and down. There's a lot of momentum switches, so you've got to make sure that you keep the lows as low as possible, and not for too long, and keep the highs as high as possible. And I think the person that does that better and plays a better tennis obviously comes out on top.
You mentioned that great win at Roland Garros, your first win in the main draw of a Grand Slam. How much do you need to really build on that as you continue to make this transition from you were a really successful junior onto the men's tour and really succeeding on the men's tour?
Yeah, it was good for me to win that, and it's important, and just to experience it. I didn't, because I hadn't played a 5-set before, I didn't know what it was going to feel like. So now that I've played one, you know, when you come to playing it again, you're obviously more prepared. You know, for me, it's just me and my coach. It's all about process and not so much the wins and the losses and the rankings. It's bringing it each day, trying to get better, and obviously, if you're getting better each day, then the ranking's going to go up naturally because you're playing better and you're winning matches. So, yeah, today was obviously tough, but you learn. In tennis, there's always another opportunity next week. That's the beauty of it, and you know, that's the instance now. I learn from it and move on.
Well, Carl, you're one of 5 Brits to have been playing in the men's side of the draw today. Of course, headlined by Andy Murray, who Roger Federer looks to be slowly wrapping up his match, or quickly, I should say, on centre court. He is next due on court. And I know you've had quite a good relationship with Murray over the years. You've been out, you've trained with him a bit in Miami. Just talk about the camaraderie that there is now within the GB squad, and particularly how Andy's really helped some of you younger guys coming through.
Yeah, Andy's been great to the younger guys. He really wants us to do well, and I've been fortunate enough to, as you say, train with him in Miami in the off season, and it's been great to me. He's obviously given me some tips, but also for me to watch him and get a feel for what he does and learn has been important. You know, in terms of the atmosphere, I think a good example is the Davis Cup team, where, you know, all the British team can join together for a week, and it only happens 2 or 3 times a year. So the team atmosphere in that is I love going to Davis Cup, and obviously it's shown in the results.
If there was one thing that you could say, the biggest thing you've learned from Andy Murray, what would you say it is?
Probably his work ethic on the court and off the court in the gym. He just works really hard, and he just keeps going and going. And you know, I was told by a coach in the past, if you're not working hard, there's going to be there's so many other tennis players out there. There's going to be someone else that's working harder than you. So that's what the mentality I try to bring, and Andy's very much like that. That he's trying to push the limits to get himself better.
And you mentioned that team atmosphere within the British Davis Cup squad. Obviously, Liam winning yesterday. Did you feel that lifted the place? That gave you a little bit more confidence to perhaps do well in your match?
Yeah, I mean, I was really pleased with Liam. I think it was similar to me when I won my first match in Paris, the first 5-setter. You know, I felt the feeling. It was so much relief. I felt so happy, and that's probably what he got yesterday. And I was pleased for him and his coach as well. That they're really good guys. So yeah, it's going to keep, you know, pushing us on, which is only healthy.
And so I just want to confirm, because I bumped into Andrew Castle downstairs just off the back of your match. He'd been commentating on it on the BBC, and he thought that you had sustained a pec injury in the match they're calling the trainer on, but you think you're okay? It was just precaution? Yeah,
it was just precaution. I mean, tennis is such a year-long sport that you're going to pick up little niggles here and there on the court. You know, it's just normal. I think being quite a physically demanding sport, and yeah, I just picked up something, and the trainers are there to help you, so I thought I'd call him on and see if you could maybe release it a bit and ease the tension. But yeah, it's not the reason I lost there. You know, Alexander played really well.
And just before we let you go, this being a home slam for you guys, we make so much about the Brits in the field. And of course, Andy Murray has stolen the headline for the last few years. But just try and explain to the viewers who hear so much about it, but unless you're one of you guys, you can't really understand how it feels. What is it like to arrive at a home slam and play in the mains men's draw? What is the atmosphere like on the court, particularly today, knowing that Laura Robson was following you? There was no doubt a good British crowd out there to watch both of you play. Yeah,
exactly. Wimbledon itself, I think you ask a lot of players, they say it's the pinnacle of tennis, probably like the Masters in golf. And especially being a Brit, you know, it's a great feeling. You always get great support, and you know, I knew today that was going to be the case, and it did happen. I got great support. It's just obviously unfortunate I couldn't quite get the win, but it's only a 4 or 5 week season, the grass court season, so it's not very long. So when you are here, you definitely you do appreciate the support.
Well, hopefully we will see you make it through to the second round next year. We really appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.